So we've got a 6-foot gap with no growth in at all, and then we've got a very thick clump of hazel. And lots of Devon hedges have this sort of problem with no growth and then too much growth. It's got 30 years of growth on this hedge, and you can see an old steeper here from that time. The tradition is to take old steepers out because they're growing at the wrong direction and the wrong height. You also need to take out any dead wood that's in there, and also perhaps anything that's too big to lay. You can lay any size you want as long as you can bring it down in a controlled manner, but if you want it to be easy, the smaller ones are the quick ones. So I would tend to take out the big stuff for firewood, take out the old steepers, and take out all the dead wood. If you want to know if something's alive or not, you can just scrape back the bark. If it's brown underneath, it's dead. If it's green underneath, it's alive. So I've thinned out the dead wood, and I've left myself with the nice straight stems that will be easy to lay across the gap that I've got ahead of me. So with any hedge laying, you have to make a decision: am I going to lay the steeper or am I going to coppice it? And if you coppice it, you cut it back to ground level and let it grow up again from ground level. Now this hedge, we've got plenty of material at the back, up on top of the bank, that's going to sit nicely in there. We've got some extra material here, which is too much for the hedge. So I'm going to coppice this. It'll all regrow, but it's more than I actually need for this hedge. So I've done the coppicing ready for laying. These are the ones that I'm going to bring down the front of the hedge. In terms of the frequency of laying a hedge, if you cut them very frequently and lay them very frequently, they're quite quick to work on, but they don't produce much firewood. If you leave them to grow to 15 years growth, perhaps with 5 metres height, you get lots of firewood out of it. So this was our gappy section. It is amazing how steeping can cure even a 6-foot gap like this quite happily. When it's finished, it should look like the next section, which is nice and thick, good for wildlife, and will grow back beautifully.